You know, on Wall Street, there are investors, and then there are legends. The kind of people whose every move can literally shake the market. Well, David Tepper is one of those legends. He's a billionaire, a master contrarian, and when he makes a move, everyone pays attention. And boy, did he just make one of his biggest moves yet.
So get this, $6.45 billion. That's the value of the stock portfolio at his hedge fund, Appaloosa Management. And in the second quarter of 2024, Tepper took this massive portfolio and gave it a radical, high-stakes makeover. We are talking about a huge pivot that has the whole street buzzing.
And this just shows you the incredible scale of what he did. On one hand, he's aggressively dumping his holdings in massive Chinese tech giants, companies he was known for backing, and on the other, he's pouring over $1 billion into U.S. tech and healthcare. This wasn't just tweaking the portfolio, this was a full-blown strategic rotation.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question. The mystery we're going to solve today, why? Why would a seasoned pro like Tepper make such a dramatic, all-in kind of pivot? Well, to get that, to really understand this billion-dollar move, you first have to understand the man himself and the playbook that made him a titan.
See, every legend has an origin story, right? And David Tepper's was forged in the absolute fire of the 2008 financial crisis. This was his defining moment.
Let's set the scene. It was pure chaos. The housing market had just imploded. A giant like Lehman Brothers had basically vanished overnight, and global markets were in an absolute freefall. Fear was the only thing anyone was selling, and investors were stampeding for the exits, especially from bank stocks. They were seen as totally radioactive.
But here's the thing. While the entire world was panicking, David Tepper saw the opportunity of a lifetime. He did the exact opposite of the herd. He started buying the very assets everyone else was desperate to get rid of, the beaten-down, distressed stocks of major U.S. banks. This quote just perfectly nails his mindset, doesn't it? He stayed cool, rational, and saw massive value where everyone else saw nothing but complete and utter ruin. So the key here, his real superpower, wasn't just crunching numbers. It was mastering his own emotions. And the result of that incredible courage? Appaloosa Management reportedly raked in a staggering $7 billion in profit in 2009 alone. $4 billion of that went right into Tepper's pocket. This single, audacious trade cemented his status as a Wall Street legend, the king of the crash.
Okay, so that mind-blowing 2008 trade, that wasn't just some lucky guess. Not at all. It was the result of a disciplined, repeatable system. So now, let's pull back the curtain and break down the actual playbook that made it all possible. At his core, David Tepper is a master of what's called distressed debt. The best way to think about it is this. He goes shopping in the bargain bin of the stock market. He's looking for companies that everyone else has totally given up on, sifting through the financial wreckage for assets that are so beaten down by fear, they're trading for pennies on the dollar, far, far below what they're actually worth.
So how does he do it? Well, this basically codifies his whole process. First, he looks at the big picture. What are governments and central banks up to? For him, policy is the master variable. Then, he hunts for that distress, the panic. Third, and this is so crucial, he stays completely unemotional. And finally, when he finds something he truly believes in, he doesn't just dip a toe in the water. No, he makes massive, concentrated bets. He goes big.
But here's another layer to his genius, adaptability. This quote shows he's not always in attack mode. He gets that sometimes the smartest move you can make is just to protect your money, to just not lose it, and wait patiently for that perfect pitch.
And this is the essence of his contrarian soul. He has a fundamental belief that the point of maximum fear, of maximum pessimism, is also the point of maximum opportunity. When things look their absolute worst, that's when he really starts to get interested. Okay, so now we have the Tepper playbook in our heads, right? Policy first, hunt for distress, act with unemotional conviction. The exact same playbook that made him a legend back in '08 is what we're going to use to solve the mystery of what he's doing right now. Let's connect the dots.
I mean, just look at these numbers. They're wild. A 1,300% increase in his United Health position, pumping in almost $870 million, a nearly 500% boost to NVIDIA. And at the same time, he's slashing his positions in Chinese giants like Alibaba and PDD. This isn't guessing. This is conviction in action.
And when you chart out his new portfolio, a really clear strategy starts to emerge. He's not just making random bets. He's carefully positioning himself for what he sees coming. He's playing both defense and offense at the exact same time.
So let me break down how this works. That massive bet on United Health, that's his defense. People need healthcare no matter what the economy is doing, so it provides a super stable anchor for his portfolio. But on the flip side, his huge buys into NVIDIA and other chip makers, that's pure offense. Those are his high-conviction bets on the explosive future of AI. It's a classic Tepper move, brace for impact, but also position for a massive home run.
So, what can we take away from all this? As students of the market, what can we really learn from David Tepper's incredible career and this latest power move? What's the so what for all of us? Well, the lessons are powerful, and they're not stock tips, they're a mindset. It's about learning to think for yourself when the crowd is all screaming one thing. It's about training yourself to see panic as an opportunity, not as a reason to run away. It means doing your homework on the big picture and having the discipline to know when to hit the gas and when to hit the brakes.
You know, digging into these kinds of masterclass strategies is exactly what we love to do. And hey, if you found this valuable, do me a quick favor and hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us create more deep dives just like this one. Now, let's wrap this up with a final word from Tepper himself.
I really want to leave you with this final quote because it just perfectly captures his entire worldview. While most people run screaming from risk and uncertainty, Tepper runs towards it. He doesn't see it as a threat. He sees it as his greatest ally in finding once-in-a-lifetime opportunities.
And that really is the ultimate question his career asks all of us, isn't it? It's easy to follow the herd. It's comfortable. But when everyone is shouting sell and running for the hills, do you have the discipline, the courage, and the sheer conviction to stop, turn around, and start looking for bargains?